This is episode 1 of Expedition Beyond, and we're going to go over the characters, get the game set up, and maybe have a turn or two. So in this game, you'll pick 3 characters out of 6. They do have additional levels, so they have the first level on one side, and the second level on the next side, and then another card with their levels 3 and 4, where they'll get more stats and abilities. For this game, I've picked Ortum, Beltafa, and Gendrick to go on this quest. And we're going to take these characters and adventure into the Cursed Crypt. So in this particular quest, you will actually travel through specific settings. In some of the quests, you'll actually travel through random settings, which you would lay out. And there's, a good number of them. But for this one, we will just start at a location. And since this is a new crew, we're just picking Bol Harada, a pretty good place to start from. And the Cursed Crypt, which tells us that we're going to travel through Silent Settlement, the forest, and then into the Dusty Tomb. So we'll just start like this, and we'll even put our character token on there. Okay, now for each of the characters, you'll have a series of stats: mind, body, and spirit, the level, the number of cards that they can hold in their hand, what it costs in resources to promote them, any special ability they have. In this particular case, Ortum can take a new token if he already has one and turn it over to get a double of that type. It'll make sense when we go further. All right, so, and then these are the tokens that he can have. He can have any 2 tokens. That's what the star represents. Beltafa, she has 2 mind, 1 body, and 2 spirit. Level 1. She could have 4 cards. Costs 3 pendants to increase her level. She can have any type of token, plus a cunning token and a fight token. And Gendrick. He has 1 mind, 2 body, and 1 spirit. Level 1, of course. 4 cards in the hand. That's the promotion cost. And he can match any one of these if the encounter is an aberrant creature. So that's pretty cool. He can only carry a food and 1 other item. So, to make a character, you will take any number, well, up to 5, of course, for him, of these aspect cards. And you can use them in any combination as you wish, except thinking that when you play a card, it's flipped over and exhausted, and you have to pay the refresh cost to bring it back into your hand. So in Ortum's case, he only has 1 of each. So if he had 3 different abilities that all used might, then he would only be able to refresh 1 of them because he only has a maximum of 1. So for these characters, I wrote down what they're going to be using as far as their hands, their first level. So Ortum is going to have Indomitable, Fit, Wise, Second Wind, and Worldly. So he'll have these cards. Beltafa will have, let's see, Streetwise, Historian, Cantrip, and Archivist, whichever. And good old Gendrick is going to take Attuned, Holistic, Action 4, and Veteran. Now you can build out your characters with all these different cards, and they have different abilities. Some have no ability, some they have different costs, some have no cost, but they are restricted. And these are aspects. These are what make your character your character. Once we do that, we now have our characters almost complete. Now we give each of them the correct number of attribute cards. So for instance, he has 1 spirit, 1 mind, and 2 body. And when your character takes damage of any kind, it's flipped over. So now we have his complete state. When he uses a card, you can just flip it. When he gets injured, you flip it. And then you can tuck it all back away. But he's not injured. All right, so let's get Beltafa. She has 2 spirit, 2 mind, and 1 body. Now she's set. And Ordum is a bit on the weak side for his attributes. Does have 5 cards, which you'll notice I only have a couple of them with a refresh cost. So we're going to want to limit damage to him. And he gets 1 of each. Okay, and the final thing that you would do is you would visit the market. Since this is our first mission, we're considered well-funded, so we can just pick whatever tokens we want that would fill these guys up. So we're just going to go pick some stuff. We know we're going to need a little bit of food. There's only 3 settings to go through, but we're going to want to rest at least once. We're going to take provisions, which Gendrick will hold. We'll take a little bit of extra magic, a lore, so he's set now. She can have 1 of any kind. Let's go with another food. And then she can have a cunning and a fight. Let's fight and cunning. And good old Gendrick. We'll take an action for him. So these tokens represent situational bonuses, temporary gear, extra knowledge, whatever. Okay. Now our characters are all set. He's ready. Now my space is a little limited here, so normally I would actually fan them all out so that I can see all their abilities in one shot, but considering the small space I've got here, I'm not going to be able to do that. All right, we're set. All right, so we've moved from Bolharata to the Silent Settlement, and what we're going to do is we're going to travel to the Cursed Crypt. And we'll go through all the settings that are in here, and when we finish the Dusty Tomb, we will flip this card over and encounter whatever's on the back of it. If we succeed, we'll get all these resources. So, let's go. All right, the first thing we would do is come in here to an overland encounter before we get here. Now, when we're here, these settings have icons here that show you what you can do while you're there. For instance, we can spend a lore token to get a cunning token. So, and you can only do these once while you're there. You can do one of these actions before or after completing a waypoint. So, we're going to start with an overland encounter, which we have right here. Let's just mix these up a little bit. And the first of the 3 encounters that we're going to do is a cliffside trail. Okay. We can play any number of cards, and we can refresh a card. Each character can do 1 action in here. Multiple characters can do the same action. In this case, we're not going to need to refresh any cards because we haven't used any. Okay, and then this is disadvantage area. If they're at disadvantage for some reason, you would play these extra cards. This is what it is worth. We can get 1 of these. This is what we need to do. We need to match these icons to avoid this. Match these icons to avoid this. And this means it's taboo, meaning you can't play a glyph of this type. There isn't one for this. So what do we want to do? Well, we don't want to get lost. We don't want to mishap because that'll force us to have a problem with our next hand. So we need to play 2 navigate and an action, and then an action, a navigate, and a cunning. Now we can play any number of cards we want. So we're going to start here and say, okay, we've got 1 navigate here and 1 here with worldly. But worldly has a special ability where we can gain weariness to count this as either 2 of either, which is what we're going to do. So we'll do this. So we know we're going to play that. That's 2. We'll still need an action. If I recall, Gendrick picked up an action token. So we can actually just play this as a card to fulfill this. Now we're not going to have a mishap. So we'll pick up Weary on Ortum. We will keep this here as played. And now we got to figure out how to get rid of Lost. Let's look and see what she has. Oh, not particularly useful. We need that. And we need that action. Let's see about Gendrick. Double action. Woo. This one is played. We'll just get rid of it. All right, Ortum. What can we do? What can we do? All right, he will play Wise. That marks that one off. And Fit. He's going to be exhausted by the end of this. So that's those 2. Now all we need is a Navigate. And we could use her Historian. Let's actually do that. We'll play his Veteran. Okay. Now we've matched all the icons. So we're not going to take damage because we matched all those. We're not going to take damage here because we matched all of those. Since we matched all the icons, we get to pick both of these items. Now, we can get another food and a Navigate token. Now, we have to pay attention to token limits. So he has 1 spot, which he can carry anything. So that will be the Navigate token. And that's all we've got left. We can't... She's got 3 slots. Can't pick up that food. Same thing here. He's got 2 slots, but they're both used. So he can't pick it up either. We'll just pick up that 1 Navigate. And we'll give it to Gendrick. Now he's at token max. Okay. Cliffside Trail is done. Now we'll move to the next waypoint, which is an interior encounter. And then we'll do the same thing here. We'll shuffle these up just in case. We didn't see that. All right. 1 more. Okay. orange, it's tough. Each character can only play up to 2 cards, and that's all we can do. This is a combat encounter. They're aberrant. And this is also an obstacle, meaning that we have to defeat it. There's no retreat. If we were at disadvantage, we would have to play these extra icons. And these are what it's worth. And it can do injury and shock. Oh, and finally, we need to match at least 5 glyphs to consider this passed. So you can pass an encounter, but still take damage. So if I played just these and these 2 and didn't play this navigate, that would be 5. We'd pass, but we'd still take shocked. Okay, let's battle this. The 2-card limit is pretty rough. But we sure could have used that. Let's do this. We'll definitely play Second Wind on the injured. And when we play this, we can discard a weary. That little icon means play. We'll play that, and we'll just get rid of that, which is good. So we're going to play Second Wind. We still need another fight. And if I recall correctly, she can just throw a token out. So that takes care of injured, and that's 3 glyphs matched. Good old Gendrick. We can match that. Wouldn't that be perfect? Let's retreat that whole action, because this is way better. Okay, she doesn't even need to play that. He doesn't need to play Second Wind, but I would like him to. Yeah, he's going to play Second Wind to get rid of that weary, but also we need that. So that's fine. Okay. So she doesn't need to play the swords there. Gendrick can play. He needs to play something, though. Oh, he needs to play something. Oh, So when he participates, it means he has to play something. He can play this navigate there. Okay. He can consider all of these glyphs matched. Matched, matched, matched. Navigate matches that. So we can get rid of that navigate. We've cleared that between Orton and Gendrick. And now all we have is one action here. What would we like to do? Well, she can... I guess she can only play Archivist. Then we get all of them. That means we can get all of these. Okay, well, I guess what we'll do. We will play that. Everything gets matched. No damage. Easy peasy. We'll get an action token and a navigate token. And we'll also get one experience. And we'll go here. One experience at the Silent Settlement. Okay. It's not the worst. Now we can leave the Silent Settlement and do an overland encounter. We're getting exhausted. We're going to need to take a break pretty soon, though. We're going to need to rest. And we don't have any options to rest yet. Oh, another one. Well, oh, wait, gotta make sure we assign these. Okay, before we do that, she has, let's see, she's full. And Gendrick has one slot open. we'll take navigate. And Ortem did not play any, so he is not going to get this, so we don't get the action. Okay. Okay. The things you can do here are play up to 2 cards. Discard any peril card that has this icon. So if we take a look at these, Weary has it, so he could just discard that. And what other one has it? Mishap has it, so you could discard that. Incapacitated, ensnared. So those are the ones you can get rid of. Okay. This might be a little tough for them in their exhausted state. We need a double navigate, which we have 1 navigate there, 1 navigate there. That's 2 navigates. We don't want to get lost. A navigate there with a lore. That's useful. And then 2 lore. We might end up taking loss. But we only need to get rid of that to pass this. And then once we pass this, we'll be closer to be able to take a break. All right, let's push it. We've got 1 navigate. And just make sure there's nothing in there. All right, and 2 navigate. And, oh wait, we're not gonna do that. We'll totally blow him up. We won't use this one. Navigate. And lore. Now he's completely exhausted. And we just need an action. Which one should we use? We should use the only one we have. Right there, Archivist. Which is what I said earlier. So, yay. That takes care of all of those. We're not going to be lost. But we are going to take a loss. So we take a look at the loss card. We have to do one of these things.